Again, I don't think almost anyone has heard about it here in the United States, but you have been investigating this, and we're talking millions and millions of dollars worth of funding for a lot of these forces fighting on the ground inside Syria.
Yeah, this bust that we saw in Lebanon, it could potentially be worth anywhere from 50 million to 200 million on the street in Saudi Arabia. But this is a drug that you don't have in Europe. It's very popular in the Gulf. It's basically an amphetamine. And it's been funding wars since probably 2006 with the Israeli Hezbollah war.
What is the connection? Why such a strong connection to Syria?
Well, what happened is that it started, Captagon, like cocaine, like heroin, was a key funding or revenue stream for Hezbollah back in the 2006 war. And it's an obvious choice, and drugs are a great way to buy weapons. So in 2011, 2012, when we saw the breakdown of security in Syria, a lot of the manufacturing went over into Syria. So that's where the production happened. But the thing is that this can fund both sides of the war. I mean, it's opportunistic. Anyone can make this drug. It's fairly easy.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's very cheap to make. The profit margins are enormous. Who's taking it then? I mean, if they're making it inside Syria, it's being sold to whom, where?
Street market is largely Saudi Arabia. I would say that probably 3/4 of all drug treatment cases in Saudi are addictions to Captagon amphetamines. Wow. Yeah, it's one of the largest amphetamine captures and seizures in the world take place in Saudi. This is the drug of choice on the Saudi street.
So, Aaron, why then isn't it so talked about? I mean, we were really, once we saw this bust, that's when I started really looking into it. Why don't we hear more about it and more about its role that it plays in Syria?
That's your job.
I think because it's not one side or the other. There's many revenue streams. ISIL or ISIS can get their money from petroleum sales, any other drug sales. Hashish is also a big revenue generation, as is kidnappings. So it's just one of the many revenue streams, although it seems to be more and more significant as the years go by because the market is still so strong in the Gulf.
Yeah, it's not easy to cut off the source. It's not like Afghanistan where you can, spot poppy fields and get in the supply chain there. This can be done and made almost anywhere, correct?
It's like methamphetamines. You can do it in your kitchen.
All right, Aaron Baker, thank you so much for being with us right now. Captagon, a $50 million drug bust involving a Saudi prince and a private plane. Wow.
2 tons of these pills. How many people that would get to? What's going to happen to that Saudi prince?
That's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story. Thank you all so much for joining us at this hour.
Legal View with Ashley Banfield starts right now.